He was just drawing dinosaurs on the sidewalk. A black SUV rolled up, no plates, no warning, and two fake HOA officers stepped out like they owned the world. Seconds later, Jesse's tiny body was smashed against the pavement, bones cracking like twigs. They didn't even flinch. But what happened next shook the entire country and exposed a terrifying scam hiding in plain sight. It started on a bright Saturday morning. I stood on our porch with a steaming cup of black coffee, soaking in the stillness of our suburban cul-de-sac. The sun stretched across neatly trimmed lawns, birds chirped from tree branches, and a neighbor waved as he walked his golden retriever. Our 7-year-old son Jesse sat cross-legged on the sidewalk with a pack of chalk in his lap. He was drawing dinosaurs, his favorite being the T-Rex. Ever since his preschool teacher gave him a dinosaur picture book, he hadn't stopped sketching them. That morning, he was working on a mural. A roaring green T-Rex battling a long-necked brontosaurus, stretching 5 feet across our sidewalk. He worked in focused silence, tongue sticking slightly out, glancing up at me every now and then to make sure I was watching. I always was. Meanwhile, my wife, Erica, was grilling in the backyard, hair pulled back, sunglasses on, humming an 80s tune. The air smelled like charcoal and onion powder. It was one of those moments you wish you could freeze. Then they came. A black Dodge Durango rolled in slow, deliberate. No plates. Dark-tinted windows. The engine's growl was deep enough to make my instincts spike. It stopped in front of Jesse. The passenger window rolled down. 2 men stepped out wearing matching khaki vests with bold HOA letters. I squinted. I'd been to every HOA meeting since 2017. These weren't familiar faces. They looked wrong, too tactical, too fit, too confident. The bald one with a cinderblock jaw looked at Jesse's drawing and scowled. The younger one, with a buzzcut and wired demeanor, pulled out a tablet. "Is this your property?" the bald man barked. "Excuse me," I said. He pointed at Jesse. "Is that your son?" Erica heard it too. I saw her shadow move toward the gate, spatula in hand. Jesse looked up, confused but not afraid. "Not yet." "Yeah, that's my son," I said, stepping off the porch. "What's this about?" Buzzcut flipped the tablet around, displaying a blurry document labeled HOA Community Violation. Unauthorized use of sidewalk space. This is vandalism. It's chalk. He's 7. Doesn't matter. HOA regulations prohibit defacement of public-facing surfaces. This is criminal mischief. That's when I noticed said no name badges, no clipboards, no radios. Real HOA guys always had clipboards. "I've never seen either of you at any HOA meeting," I said, stepping onto the lawn. "That's our sidewalk. He's a kid." They didn't respond. Buzzcut moved toward Jesse. "Hey, back off," I shouted. Too late. The bald man lunged forward and shoved Jesse. I will never forget the sound of his body hitting the concrete bone on cement. The shriek that followed. His little body crumpled. Erica screamed. I dropped my mug. I sprinted forward and scooped Jesse up. Blood. So much blood for someone so small. His arm bent the wrong way. Legs twisted. His face pale. Mouth open. Gasping. The men didn't run. "We warned you," one muttered. "Non-compliance has consequences." Erica reached us, tears streaming. "Call 911. I rasped. "Already did." And then the worst thing happened. Buzzcut reached for his waistband. "Gun!" Erica screamed. Before he could draw, a metallic voice boomed. "Drop your weapon. Hands in the air." Real SUVs screeched in from both ends of the street. SWAT officers emerged, weapons drawn. The imposters froze. Buzzcut dropped his weapon. Bald guy raised his hands. Seconds later, they were face down and cuffed. I couldn't take my eyes off Jesse. Paramedics arrived, slicing through the chaos. They loaded him onto a stretcher, stabilizing his neck. "What's your son's name?" a paramedic asked. "Jesse." "Stay with us, Jesse. You're going to be okay, buddy." They wouldn't let us in the ambulance liability. So we rode in the back of a cruiser, Erica and I holding hands, covered in blood that wasn't ours. At the ER, they took Jesse into surgery. 28 fractures. 3 cracked ribs. A punctured lung. A compound femur fracture. And a skull injury they wouldn't explain yet. I sat in the hallway watching a vending machine eat my dollar, remembering Jesse's last words that morning. "Daddy, do you think T-Rexes ever got scared?" Now I knew what fear looked like. 2 hours in the ICU waiting room passed in silence. Erica sat across from me, rocking slightly. The fire was gone from her face. Jesse was in his third surgery. A trauma surgeon called it a miracle his spine hadn't snapped. I stared at my palms, still stained with his blood. Across the hospital, the fake HOA officers sat behind one-way glass, handcuffed. Their confidence had evaporated. Detective Ramos introduced himself. Calm. Mid-50s. Mr. Langford, he said. They're not HOA officers. They're not licensed for anything. Their names are Jordan McCaffrey and Levi Denning. Dishonorably discharged ex-military. They've been running a scam. He continued. They wear tactical gear, present fake documents, intimidate residents, issue fake fines. It's extortion. The chalk drawing? Just a pretext. They've done this for cracked lights, garden gnomes, overgrown grass. Your son was just an obstacle. You're saying they meant to hurt him? Ramos hesitated. We think they meant to take him. I froze. In Fresno and Reading, similar incidents. Kids pulled toward vehicles. Your son resisted. One of them lost control. Erica dropped her water. I'll kill them, I whispered. We want them locked up forever, Ramos replied. Be a father, but also a witness. A nurse entered. Mr. and Mrs. Langford? Jesse is awake. We ran. Jesse lay in the ICU, wrapped in gauze and casts, eyes barely open. When he smiled, I shattered. Daddy, he rasped. Erica fell to her knees, kissed his hand. I leaned in. I'm here, champ. You're safe now. No one will ever touch you again. Was it the T-Rex? Did he protect me? I wanted to say yes. No, I said. You protected yourself. You screamed. You fought. You're braver than any dinosaur. He smiled. Then slept. The news exploded. Fake HOA cops injure 7-year-old. Child in ICU after assault. The footage captured by a neighbor went viral. 22 million views in 24 hours. SWAT takedown. Sirens. Screams. At the precinct, Ramos confirmed, arraignment scheduled. Charges, assault with intent to maim, impersonation, fraud, racketeering. Bail? Denied. McCaffrey shook during arraignment. Denning stared ahead, lips moving in silent prayer. Bank records showed $40,000 in fraudulent fines. It was a business. And Jesse was collateral. Back home, I saw the blood-smeared sidewalk mural. I picked up blue chalk and added a sun. Then a banner. He's still here. Neighbors joined. By dusk, the sidewalk was a mural. Jesse slept without painkillers that night. The courtroom was packed. Not with media, but neighbors. Teachers. Veterans. Judge Meredith Griffin, a Marine, addressed the courtroom. We focus on facts. On law. On justice. The video played. Then again. Then again. Ramos testified McCaffrey and Denning targeted families. Vulnerable ones. They used fear as leverage. Threatened CPS involvement. 3 other child detainment cases surfaced. Then my turn. I recounted everything. He was happy. Then he screamed. Then he didn't. Did they help? No. They stood there. Jesse was wheeled to the front. He didn't speak. He didn't blink. He just stared at the men who broke him. The defense tried excuses. Mental instability. Confusion. Jurisdiction mix-ups. The jury didn't buy it. Verdict. Guilty. Life without parole. Jesse squeezed my hand. Can I draw again now? Anything you want. Outside, the mural grew. Jesse with a cape. Dinosaurs. Heroes. Someone painted. 28 bones broken. One boy standing. 6 months later, the sidewalk became official. City funded. Artists painted Jesse with chalk in hand, facing shadowy figures labeled fear and lies. Jesse's case spurred federal change. Project Dominion formed. 11 arrests. A new precedent. Jesse learned to walk again. Woke at 5 a.m. for PT. Held a T-Rex plush through it all. He founded Chalk Justicia nonprofit helping victims of HOA abuse. This funded dozens of cases. The old HOA board was disbanded. The park renamed Jesse Langford Memorial Commons. At the dedication, Jesse spoke. I thought I was alone. But I wasn't. My mom screamed. My dad ran. And now you're all here. So no kid should ever feel like I did. He looked at the cameras. If someone pretends to be something they're not, tell someone. Even if you're small. Especially if you're small. And as the applause echoed, Jesse added with a grin. And if you need help, I know one T-Rex who still takes calls. That night, another chalk drawing appeared. Jesse standing tall. One hand holding a badge labeled real. The other a piece of chalk. Above him, fake HOA cops broke my bones. But they couldn't break me. And they never would.